Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with head coach Sean Miller. Cats and Huskies Thursday night at McHale Center. Washington State in town then on Saturday. And coach, you're facing the first place team in the conference in Washington. They're 9-0 in league play, 18-4 overall. They've won 11 straight ball games. Obviously playing good basketball right now. What stands out about Washington when you see them on film?
Well, they believe in their defense, Brian. You know, they play an extended 2-3 zone in which it's the furthest thing from a passive zone. They really get out in the passing lanes. Obviously, Thibault at the top of the zone was the defensive player of the year in the Pac-12 last season. He returns back, and their ability to force turnovers, create steals and shot blocks, in addition to all the other things that a good defense does, is a big reason why they have the record that they have. And I think the second part of it, which really makes their defense successful and their offense, is they get a talented group, but they're very, very experienced. You know, they all returned from a year ago. If I look at their team last year that played against us, you know, you really have almost the same starters. You have guys that a year later are in identical roles. And that's a sign of a healthy program, and I think something that all of us as college coaches covet when you can get the talent plus the experience. So they have an excellent team, and like the last loss they had was December 15th. It's a long time ago, and we have to be at our best to have a chance to beat them.
So from an offensive standpoint, how important is ball movement for your team to try and break down that zone?
Very much. We want to get the ball to the middle and to the baseline and try to attack from those areas. We also have to dribble penetrate. You know, the last thing we want to do is play catch around the perimeter and allow them to continue to extend and get in the passing lanes. And I think using fakes and dribble penetration, being smart with how we get it to the middle, to the baseline, and then like any offense, it's one thing to get the ball to those areas. We have to strike and we have to score. I'd say that, you know, if you'd say what's the weakness of Washington's defense and their zone is they don't always rebound as well because they are so extended. And a year ago, there was plenty of second shot opportunities that we took advantage of. We have a much different team this year than the one we had last year, but I think the teams that hurt Washington usually get some second shots as well. So that's another area that we could benefit a great deal from. Guys like Chase, Ira, Ryan can keep second shots alive, but turnovers, taking care of the ball, getting it to the middle, getting it to the baseline, being able to get second shots. You know, the other part is using our defense to get out in transition, you know, before the zone sets up. Again, watching us a year ago, sometimes we had success playing off of our defense where a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2, or an open shot. How did it occur? Well, it occurred because they weren't set up yet. So those are all things that I think every team that plays Washington tries to do, and will be no different.
Life is what you make it, full of endless possibilities and opportunities at every corner. In our fast-paced world, Hughes helps you with what matters most, delivering dreams, adding value to your life. Where you bank matters. For you, your family, and your future. We are local, rooted in the community you call home. Join us on the journey of life. Hughes Federal Credit Union, ranked the #1 credit union in Arizona by Forbes.
Wildcat Basketball Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union.
A couple weeks ago, Chase Jeter was injured early in the Oregon State game. You had some other guys that stepped up and led the Wildcats to a victory. Against Arizona State, you were without Brandon Williams. Even in the loss, some other guys stepped up and scored more than their season average. What's been your message now to the team without Brandon and hopefully Chase back close to 100% as you go into the game on Thursday?
Well, you're right about Chase. You know, he played against ASU, but he wasn't himself. We were grateful that he was out there. We're certainly a better team because of the 31 minutes that he played, but he was a little bit off, especially on offense, and understandably so. He really only practiced for about 40 minutes, 30 minutes before that game. But now he's had the opportunity through rest and some practices to be back as close to 100% as we can have him right now. And we have to take advantage of that. Chase, as you know, he helps us in all areas. He protects the rim a lot of times by drawing charges. He is the biggest guy on our team. He's our best defensive rebounder. And on offense, you know, we have the ability to throw him the ball, and he gets fouled. He can score from 2, and we're a much better team with him for sure. We're going to miss Brandon Williams. Unfortunately for him, he was playing his best basketball of his young career at Arizona. I thought his game against UCLA, although our team didn't play well, he did. And 19 points. We don't know how long we'll be without him, but hopefully we have our fingers crossed we can get him back at some point.
Always a great atmosphere at McHale Center, and I know it's probably the age-old question of how important that is in a game like this. As your team now an underdog going in against Washington, and how the atmosphere can boost your guys even more.
Well, you know, we're 95-5 in the last 100 home games at McHale, so I think that speaks volumes of how hard it is to win here. A lot of it is because of our crowd. The atmosphere, the Zona Zoo, coupled with the longtime season ticket holder that just really understands the game and loves the Cats. You feel it when you're in McHale, and the other team feels it. We're going to need the pageantry. We're going to need the excitement. We're going to need sometimes, you know, our crowd to lift us up when we need it, like they always have done. But this game's different than a lot of the 100 that I mentioned, in that, you know, we're a home underdog, and for certainly the last 6 years, I don't know if that's occurred, maybe more than once, twice. So with that, it's an interesting challenge, and I think one that we're excited to embrace.
All right, second half of the conference season starts Thursday night, Wildcats and the Huskies. Saturday, Washington State in town, and we'll see you next time on Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for watching Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.